Hello.
Hello. Can you hear
How you
me?
doing?
Okay.
Yes, I can.
Good enough.
Yes.
And Murphec is online, so hopefully we're ready to go. Let's see.
Yeah.
I have my desktop microphone on. So,
I'm logging into Moola.
is everyone here in the cavern able to hear me? Susan just typed Shorab Shimti in the stream chat which means hello to everyone. So I replied, sure, it's just me.
Yeah, I got a notification saying there were 13 people logged in. So, I don't know.
Well,
I
13,
don't know
13
yet.
people well, actually, it says 18 on my screen now that I'm looking at it, but
Okay.
nobody else was said anything in chat yet.
Okay. Well, I was the first. Okay, I'm here in the hood. Are you here? Oh, there you are. I can see your hat.
Yep.
I have to do the customary lean right to my neighbor. I play another video game that uses WASD keys, which don't work here, so I have to remember to use my cursor keys.
Let's see. What am I doing? What am I doing? Oh, yeah. I gotta bring up the tour scripts, don't I? Mm-hmm.
I can hear Murphac muttering to himself. Probably in French. Hello there. Greek Red referred to us as tour victims. Uh-oh.
I'll have him know. I'll have him know that I am not a victim. I run the place. I am a victimizer. Let's see. Isn't all that huge, Susan?
Your coffee mug?
Yeah.
Let me see. Show it to us.
I was just showing it alongside my hand so that you could see a comparison.
Oh, see, usually you hold it up close to the camera, so there's a
Yeah.
visual effect.
Exactly. It's a bit.
Oh, you're covering it. That's cheap.
No, I'm covering the bottom half
Yeah.
with my hand, so you can see that it's. I think I've mentioned this before, but as far as it's insulated, so a lot of bulk is airspace. So what it holds inside is about 2 cups worth.
Okay, well, usually you hold it up so close to the camera, it looks like it's larger than your head.
it's more a perspective thing
Yeah.
because see the farther back I bring it, see.
Yeah, see, now your hands look normal size, but put your hands closer to the camera.
Huge mug.
Yeah, and huge hands. There you go. See, now your hands are bigger than your head. Did you announce on Facebook we're going to have a special guest star today?
Are we? I wasn't
No,
aware.
I thought we were.
We're doing something special today, but I don't know about any guest stars.
Oh, well, once it happens, I think you'll see what I mean.
It'll be a surprise to me too. Then. I'll warn everyone beforehand who's already here that we're going to be probably running over time today. We do have something special planned for you. But just what we're going to do is something that I am not going to give away beforehand.
Does anyone really know the mind of the bat? So riddle me this now and riddle me that. Does anyone really know the mind of the bat? Wherever you're going, whatever you do, I'm out in the dark, keeping watch over you. So poison the ivy with your crocodile tears. We're climbing the vines to the heart of your fears. Can you tell me has something changed? The rewards are zero, cause I ain't no hero. Do you know it when you go strange? Is your taunting true? Am I as crazy as you? Check my head, I guess the joke's on me. Whoa, I'm not laughing at the irony. Oh no. Now and riddle me that. Does anyone really know the mind of the bat? So riddle me this now and riddle me that. Does anyone really know the mind of the bat? Check my head, I guess the joke's on me. Oh, I'm not laughing at the irony. Oh no. Check my head, the sky at night.
Refresh my memory. What is Tagira again?
That's the ice age in Myst 5.
Okay, with the little pod trees
Yeah.
and the frozen lake.
When you cross over that lake on the other side, there's a number of grave markers.
Oh yes. That's where the retired bots are from Mula.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I should have mentioned that the stream background today is some rather blurry concept art from the age of Pinto.
Yes, and the famous pinto bean plague, bro.
So you're saying that the Pinto plague was flatulence?
I think that's what Rose maybe was implying. Or maybe I just made that inference. Well, Zeke is with us today. Hello, Zeke. Welcome back. Mala is on Twitch.
Say, I had a when Darlene went to visit Richard yesterday, I had a special gift, surprise waiting for her, a gift. I had sent Darlene's laptop had given out on her a number of years back, and I remembered that. And so I actually got in some laptops from a customer who was just wanted to get rid of them, and it turned out that there was nothing wrong with any of them. So I reconditioned one of the better ones and sent it to Richard to give to her. So she got it yesterday. They opened it up, got a look at it, and Richard helped her to set it up to go to Twitch, and so everything was set for today. Then when she went home, he forgot to pack the AC adapter. So she's got the computer, but no way to plug it in right now.
Oh dear. You are cutting out a little bit, Larry, when you're talking.
I'll move my microphone a little bit closer.
I could use a new gaming computer, hint hint.
So could I. Jamie, we're going somewhere.
We're going somewhere. No, we're just gonna stay in the hood all day.
No, we've already done that.
That's right, we already did that. But you know, we crashed and we couldn't go to Corral. Corral was borked that day, remember? Alright, let me check my buddies list to see where everybody is. Everybody. Every B-U-D-D-Y. Somebody's in Nexus. Somebody's in Relto. Pink Elephant. You're in Relto.
Shiloh, the tours have never caused the servers to crash because we don't actually run them on the servers normally. We run them on Murphec's computer client, which is on his computer.
Okay, Pink Elephant's in the Nexus. Oh, should I go ahead and get started?
Yep.
Well, Sharab Bashemti, welcome to our 16th Cavern Tour. Can you believe this is our 16th? We started 1 year ago in January. Today we'll be visiting 2 ages. One of them is fairly large, and so if you happen to become separated from the group, you can PM find Larry or find CT to Mirabot. First thing, I want to make sure everyone is logged into Twitch twitch.tv/LWF58. Larry streams everything through Twitch that we can't see here in the cavern. And also, it's important that you've all buddied Mirabot. His key number is 32319. Is there anyone here who does not have Mirabot on their buddies list? Okay, there's the Twitch channel on your website. Yes, I also carry emergency supplies and food and coffee and water in my backpack here.
Let's see.
So if Larry doesn't have any more announcements, we will be linking to Mirabot by PMing the word link to him, LINK. Larry, is it okay if we go ahead and link to Mirabot, or did you have something to say?
Um, just one last warning. For those of you who may have to cut out early, you will be missing something because we have a special thing that we're going to be doing today that may run over time. In fact, it's probably going to run over time. But for those of you who can stay, I'm hoping that you will enjoy what we have planned. And with that said, don't forget the other events that are going on today. Do you have that list ready, Susan?
Do you want me to read it now or at the end of the tour?
Well, remember that we're doing something after we finish up the tour. We're doing that special thing, so better to do it now.
Okay, let me bring it up on my computer screen. The other thing I want to mention is during the tour, Larry will take some breaks to answer questions. But if you have any questions, you go ahead and type them in the chat, and I'll make sure Larry sees them all. All right, I'm scrolling through the list of events, which is published by the Guild of Messengers. And today is April 10th. It looks like Arte's Story Night will be in Sano's Hood, TSAHNO '(S) Hood at 1400. And also at 23:30 tonight, key time. It looks like there's another event at 1400 today called Unwritten Livestream. And then at 1600 is the karaoke party in the Guild of Messengers pub. That's the new pub that's accessible from the Watchers pub. And that's all I see for today.
Unwritten is the role-playing game that was invented by fans. It's a Myst role-playing game. And Cyan actually bought the rights from them, so it's now officially a Cyan product. Okay, and other than that, I don't think I have anything else to say, so we are ready to take off.
All right, let's go ahead and PM the word link to Mirabot.
For those of you watching on the live stream, the reason why there's no sound is because if I play it, then it causes feedback problems. So the people who are here with us are going to be able to hear all the sound effects, depending on how they have their sound settings set up. But I never have any on the stream itself.
We've got 3 left here in the hood.
Okay.
Plus me. I'm assuming they're AFK momentarily, so.
Okay.
There goes one more.
I'll,
Go ahead, start.
I will. Okay. Welcome to the age of Minkata. Minkata is an age that was written for the Guild of Surveyors. The name is a Denis word that does not have a direct translation into English. This DRC chose heavily scarred as the closest translation that they could think of. The name is a reference to the mineral stumps that are found scattered everywhere across the landscape. The age is centered around a cage made of gigantic bones constructed in a style that is typical of the Barrow. Atop the cage, we are currently standing on a tarpaulin bearing a Denis compass rose. The center of the rose is the insignia of the Guild of Surveyors. It seems fairly likely that the tarpaulin was scavenged from a Denis structure and added to the cage when it was built. That would have been at the time that Yisha turned Minkata into one of her quests. The tarpaulin would have been more useful to the Denis stretched across the ground. Now, give me a moment here. I have something I want to show you. So, let's see. Minkata, where are you? There you are. Okay, if you take a look at the stream window, I made this copy of the Guild of Surveyors insignia on my own to show you what it looks like when it's in good shape. There's actually two versions of this, and this is the version that you find here in Minkata. And I'll go ahead and take that away. The Guild of Surveyors used this age to train their members in how to navigate by dead reckoning. The trainee was given a set of coordinates to follow to get to each of a set of 5 caves, and had to determine direction from shadows cast by the suns, and he had to judge distance by travel time. The planetary system Minkata is part of is in a trinary star system, so the planet has 3 suns. To help the trainee orient himself, the tarpaulin with the compass rose was oriented on magnetic north. This followed the Denis practice of setting their coordinate system to magnetic north or a prominent landmark when surveying a new age. Explorers have come to call the caves that are the endpoints for the navigation puzzles kivas, after the round ceremonial chambers dug as covered pits in the ground by American Southwest Indians. The Minkata kivas are dug into mineral stumps. During the day, sand and dust blown about by the constant windows drifts into the kivas, which makes visibility poor. The kivas were probably excavated by the Denis, but they were altered by the Barrow for Yisha's quest. It is unknown what the quest is intended to accomplish or teach. Inside of the kivas, there is a copy of the surveyor's insignia on the floor and on wooden crates, which supports the theory that the kivas were made by Denis construction teams. Murfak, could you please warp us inside one of the kivas? Looking at the comments. Yes, Riven the Age was written by Gen, who was born just before the fall of Denis. So Minkata, of course, is much, much older. Let's see. I'm facing away from the stone, so let's go ahead. But if you will all clear the center of the room, I'm right up against it now. Okay. You'll be able to see the guild symbol on the floor. Currently, Pink Elephant is one of the people standing on it. And then if you look around at the crates, if you look at their sides, they also have the surveyor's insignia on them. And that shows that they were made by the Denis and not by the DRC. The bone decorations and bone ladders, as well as the cracked oval stone near the wall, would have been placed in the kivas by Yisha's barrow. The barrow markings on the stone are the same type that are found on the exterior of Escher's laboratory in Nolabin. They are part of the barrow writing system. Yisha had words in English carved into it as well, providing a clue as to what she wanted explorers to do. Barrow writing has yet to be interpreted, so it's not known if the English phrase is repeated in the Barrow language. There is a theory for all 6 stones having an identical appearance. It may be that there really is only one stone, and we are seeing it simultaneously in all 5 kivas, as well as in the central cage at the same time. This theory arises from the fact that the Barrow did the same thing when they created the keeps for the stone tablet that bound them to Denis. The stone linking device The stone is a linking device used for 2 purposes. It links an explorer or explorers through time and space, and creates a portal next to the stone in the cage. In that respect, it's similar to the journey cloths found in other ages. For that reason, I believe that these stones may be showing us some of the Barrow version of the great words used in writing a linking book, and which are normally hidden in the weave of the cloth panels they use for journey cloths and Barrow stones. When Yisha decided to make Minkata the site of one of her quests, she used linking techniques unknown to the Denis. The stone she set up linked through time to a future version of Minkata, when the part of the planet the navigation courses are on is experiencing nighttime. And Murphat, can you switch us over to night and take us outside?
Before we go, can you repeat what you said about the design on the floor? Is it the same as on the roof?
That is the Guild of Surveyor symbol, which is also on the crates and on the tarpaulin. The one that I showed you my fan art of.
Okay, great. Yes, someone asked about it.
Okay. Jamie's asking about time and space travel, and yes, that is a part of the Uro. The Baro do it in several instances, most notably Todelmer involves an awful lot of it, and it's also a feature in this age. We're now in the nighttime version, and I'm just waiting to be warped up upstairs before I continue. By the way, if both the day and night portions of a leg of her quest were followed correctly, the explorer was able to add a segment of a baroglyph portal inside the cage. As usual, once the glyph portal was complete, it linked the explorer to an instance of the Baro cave in the Cavern of Rudena, where they could collect a ring for the well in their Relto. As usual, she was not forthcoming with information about why she wanted you to do this.
Someone's asked again about the surveyor symbol. That's just an abstract design, right? It's not Denny letters.
Actually, there are what appear to be Denis letters on it. However, they make no sense. Let me see if I can find, while we're waiting, an example of the other version of that symbol. Because it wasn't the only one that appears in the game. Let me see. I want to go here, here, the Guilds of Archives, books. Hmm.
Bye, Zeke. Thanks for stopping in. The questions are rolling in and scrolling out of my view.
We can use this as a question and answer break while I'm searching for that picture I'm looking for.
Okay, someone asked if the tarpaulin's made of work skin, but I think you already answered that.
Yeah, the age of Riven was written long after the fall of Denis.
Okay, do we know what kind of bones and animal skin is in Minkata?
No, we don't. And there's something of a mystery because obviously the bones must have come from the Spiral Age originally, which was the homeworld of the Baro. But very little is known about that, and we have never, and I've never seen any artwork of pictures or pictures of animals there.
All right, and someone's also asking why Yisha wrote in English. Did she expect explorers to be English speakers instead of Dunny?
English was one of her the two languages that she could speak, along with Denis. She was raised, of course, by Atris and Catherine, but Catherine would not have had any reason really to teach her Rivenese because Riven by that time was no longer a place they could visit. Atris, however, grew up in New Mexico, of course. So, and Anna, his mother, natively spoke English. So there's, excuse me, Anna was his grandmother. I'm sorry, but Anna raised him, and she was a native speaker of English.
And someone's asking where you got your pith helmet.
Online, of course. Where does anyone get anything these days? There's a place called villagehatshop.com that has an entire section of them.
Did it come with that blue part, or did you add that
No,
yourself?
that's actually a woman's hairband, which I bought at Walmart. Say, I searched and searched and searched for that type of band is called a puggaree, and and I searched and searched for one that would work, and never could find one. So it finally occurred to me that instead of searching like that endlessly and fruitlessly, I could just go to Walmart, buy a hairband, and put it on there.
I have a question. When you go to the outskirts of Minkata, which I don't even know that they're outskirts, they become more and more dusty. So does the age end there?
There
Or
actually is a physical end to the age, but it's a very, very long way out. Okay, I'm just not able to find the image I'm looking for at the moment. So, Jamie, I was waiting for Murphac to warp us up to the surface, but so far he hasn't done that. I hadn't noticed. So I was looking, but yes, I was looking for a picture, but unfortunately, this is one of those cases where I'll run into it later in a very obvious place, but right now it's hiding from me.
so is Minkata flat, or is it a globe like Earth?
It's a planet, so presumably it's a globe, but they can't. But that's another one. Um, at this point, I'm not sure why we're not getting warped out. So, if you want to risk the latter, uh, it looks like people are not getting stuck on it. So let's go. We can go ahead and try using that to get out. What I was going to show you, by the way, is that there is a different version of this that guild logo, which is much more clear, uh, and it shows up on Atris map, which was included with one of the novels, if I remember correctly. Say, and I had made fan art of it, which makes everything show up well. But like I said, I'm unable to find it at the moment, no matter how hard I search. Now he warps us. Thanks, Mirfak. Okay, were there any other questions before I continue? Okay, I guess not. Okay. Oh, my game crashed, so hang on and I'll be back in a moment. If anyone here is new to the tours, crashing is unfortunately one of the unavoidable facts of running a tour, because the games was never really optimized for having quite so many people in one place at one time as we do. They had only really anticipated having a few people in one place at any one time.
Yeah, someone else crashed as well.
Mm-hmm. Hold on to that thought for a few minutes, because the bot crashed as well, so Murfak is in the process of restarting it.
Uh-oh, if the bot crashed, we're going to be here forever. Just kidding.
Anathea is asking is if Dusty is there in Minkata. Since that's the bot's version of it, it probably is. Whereas my understanding is that it somehow got turned off in the live game for some reason, because no one's found it in quite some time.
Cyan turned off Dusty?
I don't know what happened, but yeah, I've seen reports that people haven't seen that for months now.
Huh. Interesting.
Let's see. Murabot is back on the list, so link, and here I go. He's back up.
Do you happen to know the origin of Dusty?
Not off the top of my head. I haven't seen anything written about him. Uh, but there was a point before the cavern was opened up to explorers as a general thing that balls like that were brought down to the surface by restoration engineers working for Cyan to have something to do with when they weren't actually working. That's, for instance, is why Eddie is in the neighborhoods. Uh, he was he was brought down by an unknown restoration engineer who has never stepped forward to admit that he was the one who did it. And the DRC Council's comment on that was something to the effect of, while we don't mind a bit of levity now and then, keep your mind on work. Okay, anyway, hopefully everyone's back now. If not, then you can just listen in. First off, Minkata is obviously not an alternate version of Earth, as many other ages might be. This is easy to tell at night since there are no recognizable constellations. Plus, the two spiral galaxies that take up a significant portion of the sky are another really big clue. However, during the day it's easy to tell because Earth doesn't have a trinary star system, and that's pretty hard to miss. There have been proponents among the community of explorers who have put forth the idea that Minkata is actually the star system Mintaka. Mintaka is a star system that's also known as Delta Orionis A. The name Mintaka comes from an Arabic word that means the belt. Together with Alnitak or Zeta Orionis and Alnilam Epsilon Orionis, Mintaka forms the belt of the constellation of Orion. Mintaka is a trinary star system like that above Minkata, which is one of the facts that, along with other than the two names sounding similar, caused the idea to be proposed. However, there are two main facts that disqualify it. The stars of Mintaka orbit each other every 5.73 days. So if they were above Minkata, there would be a rapid and significant change in their relative positions that could be observed by anyone visiting the age for any length of time. Secondly, the system is about 690 light years from Earth, meaning that in galactic terms, we're next door neighbors with it. In other words, there are no galaxies closer to Mintaka than they are to us. So the large pair of galaxies visible in Minkata's night sky would not be visible the way they are if one were on a planet orbiting Mintaka. The fact that during both night and day there's no perceptible movement of the visible celestial bodies leads me to guess that it's because the planet of Minkata is in a very slow orbit and is probably has a very slow rotation around its own axis. The fact that there is eventually a night sky tells me that it isn't tidally locked so that the same side of the planet always faces the suns. The suns must orbit around a common center of gravity at the same rate Mintaka orbits them, or otherwise their relationship would change in the sky. And Minkata must rotate once per orbital year. That would mean that it always points towards the same constellations, and would also explain why the suns would not change their relative positions in the sky during the day. That is a theory, but if it's correct, it would mean that Minkata does have a day, a sunset, a night, and a sunrise. But it must have such a long orbit that it may take hundreds of years for it to travel along at once. That would explain why the suns never seem to move when we visit it. They are, but at a rate so slow that we cannot measure it over the few years we've been able to access the age. Now, I had some conversations with Richard A. Watson about various ages, and someone once asked Cyan worlds why all of their ages are so small. They always seem to be islands or boxed-in places. The answer was that Cyan prefers handcrafted models instead of ones that are procedurally generated by programs. Rand Miller said something along the lines of, "We can make an age as big as we want, but it won't be very interesting." Richard Watson added that he thought that Minkata, which appears to be an infinite plane of procedurally generated cratery things, might have been Rand's way of saying bigger isn't always better. Another reason for the small sizes of Cyan's ages is practical. When Cyan was producing Uru, they had set themselves the task of building and releasing a large number of ages in a time span measured in months instead of the years it would normally take to make a game. Because of that, small models were necessary to cut down on the time it took to build and debug them. Richard told me this about it. Yes, they needed to be small to get them through the pipeline with any efficiency, but they also needed to be small for gameplay reasons and artistic satisfaction. Minkata doesn't look like a Cyan age, it's just bland. Almost no interesting details but the things in the middle and the rooms out in the desert. 40,000 of the same tree, 20,000 of the same rock could have been done, but who cares? Well, the artists, for one. It also would have needed some kind of fog to limit the amount of polygons to draw at a time, at least back then. The plasma engine was great for the time, but nothing like the engines of today for handling that level of detail. And there you have your explanation as to why we have all of this, the windblown sand and dust in the air in this age. It was to limit the amount of information that your web browser or your game had to show you at any one time. Okay, and that's pretty much it for the tour. So, do we have any questions about anything that I've covered? Hello, is anyone listening?
I'm listening.
Okay. Did Minkata have any life? The bones were probably brought in by the Barrow, so there's no way to know. Ro is asking whether or why the bone cage is different between day and night, and that's because it shows the passage of time. Presumably, it's been many hundreds of years since the last since we saw it in the daytime to when we're seeing it now. and we traveled time to get here. That's because you'll remember I was my theory about the orbit being so long that it takes centuries to get around the sun, and and we're in the nighttime now. Evelyn, that's done by the Baro. Their ability to the changing of the stars is probably an illusion, but we know that they can make things look. They can rotate, or by moving time, they can change the way the night sky looks in Todelmer. However, here again, it's probably an illusion, and those may not even be real stars in those constellations.
In Tendelimer, they had that big mechanical structure that made time change. Do you think there's some sort of mechanical structure here too?
The mechanical structures had nothing to do with time. Those were telescopes, and what you were doing was moving the telescopes as you adjusted the controls. When you actually made time shift to bring new constellations up, and eventually to view the planet, what you were doing was writing a symbol on the slate that was getting the Baro to rotate to move time for you.
Yeah, I just remember there was that big mechanical structure next to the telescopes, and it started, clacking away. But I guess that was used to adjust the telescopes.
Correct. That was a moving. Basically, the telescopes were adjusted by a number of cables stretching out from that central observatory to the various telescopes that were out on the obelisks. Okay, let's see. What time is it? 12:44. Time to move on to the next age. Okay, so Murphak, if you can take us to the next age.
Scott Miller's asking whether any Denny's still around when Minkata was created.
It was created for a Denis guild, the Guild of Cartographers.
Uh-oh, I just got a call stack error.
We'll see you when you get back. You're probably right, Alfard, that because it has been a while since I last played Todelimer. Jamie's commenting that you can submit crash reports to Cyan again. However, at least part of those are caused by the fact that we've just got a whole bunch of people in one place at one time. Say, this is actually having at least one crash, and usually several is normal for the tours, unfortunately.
And Minkata can be quite laggy even just with two people in it.
That's because it's so big, and there's so many polygons that have to be rendered by the game engine. Plus, you have all those vast fields of debris in the air.
Okay, I'm going to make sure Mirabot is in the correct place. If Mirabot is still online.
He should be.
Yes, everyone can please PM the word link to Mirabot.
Okay. Now, I don't know how many people... actually, I should be asking you, Susan. How many people are left?
I just now got here. Let me check my buddies list.
Okay. I'll get started then. Jalak is a game age which is approved by the DRC and released to the public on August 2nd of 2007. The word Jalak is a noun meaning pillar or column. The DRC notebook next to the linking book in the Library of Agra has this to say. We still haven't figured out exactly how this place is supposed to work, and we're not sure we're ever going to. We do know that the Denis came here for some sort of sport, and it was fairly popular. We know that the audiences came and watched whatever game they played. It's the rules we don't know. We have found no rules written down by the Denis, which means that it was such common knowledge that no one felt the need to write it down, or the game always changed. Either way, we've been having fun here, and we figured we might as well share a couple of games that we have come up with for this place. You could add your own rules, modify ours, or come up with something completely different. Maybe yours is the way that Denis really did it. Who knows? The machinery here in Jalak generates some of the most advanced force fields to be found in the Denis Empire, and I wonder if the place was originally created as a place to develop and refine the technology. There are two distinct types of force field. A barrier field that shows as a hexagonal structure like a honeycomb. Could you raise that, the barrier field around us, please, Mirfak?
Sorry?
The force field around this, the game field. Could you open that up, or turn that on?
I think the force field is on.
Yes, it's on now.
Oh, okay. I'm not seeing it, so there we go. So if I walk back... Anyway, that shows a hexagonal structure like a honeycomb, and also we have these movable objects with smooth surfaces that are generated on demand. There's another example of a barrier field in the Todelmer age. Todelmer is a moon that orbits a ring planet, and in the rings there is an observation pod. When you look at the windows of the pod, you see the same hexagonal segmenting, which implies that the windows might be made of the same type of force field, or that the pod is surrounded by it. Let's see if I can show you that. Jalak. And here we go. So if you look at the stream window, it can be a little hard to make out, but in this picture, if you look off towards the left-hand side, you'll see black lines that form a honeycomb pattern, and that's what I'm talking about. Okay, let's go ahead and take that down. The platform that we're standing on is a cube that's divided into a 5x5 grid of pillars, each of which can be raised or lowered by your key controls. The controls can raise or lower the pillars individually or as a group, create and dismiss various force field objects, and activate or deactivate the barrier field around the platform. The pillars are marked with strange symbols on all sides, and the tops are marked with 4 repetitive symbols, one for each corner. The exception is that the pillars in each corner have one of the top symbols each. The pillars are about 5 feet square and make the playing surface an approximate 25-foot square grid, although that's not quite accurate since there are gaps of several inches between the pillars. Circling the platform are 4 freestanding walls, which are assumed to be seating areas for spectators. They are wider at the base than the tops and appear to have window openings in various places. The ground around the buildings is very wet, and the bases of the walls are covered in moss. On top of each wall is a single stone bench that extends almost the entire length of the wall. It's a bit hard to judge since we don't have an accurate way to measure it, but it looks like each bench might have been able to seat between 20 to 30 spectators. However, there's no obvious way to get up to the benches. There may have been a linking book for each one to get the spectators up there, but that's purely a guess. And even if they did link there, there's no obvious way for them to leave afterward. Well, other than to jump off. On top of the walls are flags that are identical to those found in Minkata, and each bears a marking of the Guild of Cartographers, which could mean that the games in this age were sponsored by them. Only 4 of the flags from Minkata are used, however, the blue, yellow, green, and red ones. They match the color placement of the 4 colored symbols on the pillar tops. And now, when I spoke with Richard about this age, his comment was that Jalak was a Cyan Worlds experiment in what they called emergent gameplay. In other words, if they gave explorers things to play with no specific purpose, what would they come up to do with them? That turned out to be quite a lot even back in 2007. At least one person made marble runs that in which he dropped the force field spheres onto, and watched them roll through the courses. There were competitive marker missions and other games that were created. The age was also used by explorers with an artistic bent to create sculptures using the pillars and objects, and much of the artwork that was created still exists because a program was designed to save the configurations outside the game. Mirabot has some of those pictures stored, and we'll be exploring that in a little while. But meanwhile, Murpha, can you take us, build us a non-lake and take us outside?
He had to take a quick break. I don't know if he's back or not.
Okay.
I had a question and I just forgot it. Oh, For those who may not know, can you clarify who Richard is?
Richard A. Watson, or Rawa, is one of the Cyan World's employees, of course. He's been with them ever since the days of the original Myst game, and in fact did a lot of work on Channelwood. And he's also been the driving force behind a number of the ages here. To give you an example, one of his big projects that I know about here was the Pod Age and Garrison. He's also the person who invented the Dini language, and actually, I'm not quite sure what else to say about him. However, he and I are online friends. I'm not sure if I'm the only person who knows his home address, but I'm certainly one of them. And we have conversations by email normally every month, sometimes several times a month. And he's a great quite fond of the Cavern Tours, and so gives me a considerable amount of help with critiques and comments.
All right, Murphac's back.
Okay, Murphac, could you give us an on lake and take us outside the game stage? Actually, Darlene was watching earlier today, so I'm not quite sure. I don't know if she had to leave for any reason.
A Pink Elephant had asked about, quote, all those bubbles.
If she's talking about the force field
spheres?
objects,
yeah, I was going to ask her, is she referring to the spheres and the cubes and the rectangles? Or is she referring to the grid?
She must be. No, she must be talking about those. And yeah, those are just they're force field objects in the game. Out of character, they are there just to give you something to play with. Yeah, there's Darlene. In the game, in the stream chat, you'll see somebody named Rawa's Mama. And that's Richard A. Watson's mother, Darlene.
Yeah, I think there are Easter eggs in Riven where you find the letters Rawa. But that's a non sequitur.
Actually, if I remember correctly, in Riven, there actually is a picture of the daughters of one of the scientists, which are kind of carved into or made up of patterns on one of the rock walls.
Someone's overloading the pillars with objects.
Well, I'm waiting to see. Okay. In that case, let me go ahead and.
I just want to point out real quick that there's some coloring on top of the pillars that probably means something.
I mentioned
there's-
those. The cat.
Okay.
That I also mentioned that they're color coordinated with the flags.
Oh, sorry. I must have had a brain
Okay. If everyone will PM the bot the words "Find Larry," if you aren't already down here, you can join us. Zizzy, you have to say that direct by clicking on the bot's name. Okay. The world outside the stadium is a valley mostly made up of rolling hills with mountains surrounding them in all directions. The plant life includes bluegrass, moss, bamboo, and trees. When you go outside, note that the trees, excuse me, the trees are spaced too regularly to be natural. They form at least 2 rings around the stadium and were possibly planted by the Denis as a windbreak or for cosmetic reasons. And I'm going to give you a few minutes here to explore the and take key photos of the age as you please. Okay. Now, I had mentioned earlier today that we had something special planned for you. Yoda and Murfak have teamed together, and we're going to show you a presentation of some of the artwork that has been created here in Jalak by various explorers, including Piri, who has done quite a bit of that type of work. So with that said, do we have any final questions before we begin that?
Should we be standing anywhere in particular during this special event?
I've set myself looking up from the top of one of the walls surrounding the central stage, but I believe that anywhere where you can see the central stage should be good enough. Down below should do just as well.
So we should not touch the objects, right? Because he's going to be building structures.
That's correct.
Yeah, so everyone please step away from the kickables.
And in the meantime, I'm going to turn on my background music again so that we'll have a soundtrack to go along with this. Murfak, you and Yoda can begin the show anytime you like now.
Magic Yoda was the one I was referring to as our special guest star.
Ah, okay.
The wheels of conflict still move and turn. The day the world died, nothing was learned. And the future's a tunnel stretching endlessly into nothing, stumble in the black. And the light at the end is but a treachery. It will blind you and force you back. The day the world died, we kindle doom. We burn the outside The day the world died, nothing was learned. The coming of age, the stirring of purpose, within the summer over and over we will ascend. The coming of age, disturbing the surface, connect each other over and over to see the end and dream again. We dream again, to see the end, we dream again. We dream again, to see the end, we dream again.
gotta be a dog.
Evacuate in the middle of a spinning red ring of light. She got so much soul and she don't even know it. Ain't no venom in her bite. She got everything I want in a lady and a little more. She's a cool desert island, I'm a wave washing off the shore. She gonna teach you how to rock and roll. She gonna teach you how to rock and roll. Hey, she got a fire burning out of control. Baby's gonna teach you how to rock and roll. Yeah, she's gonna teach you how to rock and roll. Teach you how to rock and roll. She got a fire burning out of control. Baby's gonna teach you how to rock and roll. Baby's gonna teach you how to rock and roll. She gonna teach you how to rock and roll. She gonna teach you how to rock and roll. Hey, she got a fire burning out of control. Baby's gonna teach you how to rock and roll. Yeah, she gonna teach you how to rock and roll. She gonna teach you. Sturdy and so stout. When the day is done, when it's time for fun, we'll drink and sing and shout. You weak-livered milk drinkers can let your throats run dry, 'cause it's just one drink that we will sink until the day we die. Drinking mead in the halls of Whiterun, the maidens and the men. We swig our brew until we spew, then we fill our mugs again. You can keep your filthy skooma, it makes our bellies bleed. 'Cause when we raise our flagon to another dead dragon, there is just one drink we need, Lord Mead. Lord Mead. So another mead and another mother mead, from another mother mead till you fall down. So another mead and another mother mead, till another mother mead, warrior. After the long hard days of hunting and of war, our throats are tired and thirsty and our bodies drenched in gore. But we won't waste our evenings feeling tired and feeling spent. We perk right up when we breathe in that wholesome honey scent. That's Cyrodiilic brandy, too fruity for these tongues. You can keep your fancy out to wine, it tastes like Harker dung. Balmora Blue tastes great to you, but here we like it plain. Just fill my mug with a mighty jug of honey, heart and grey. Drinking mead in the halls of Whiterun, the maidens and the men. We swig our brew until we spew, then we fill our mugs again. You can keep your filthy skooma, it makes our bellies bleed. 'Cause when we raise our flagon to another dead dragon, there is just one drink we need, Lord Mead. Lord Mead. Lord Mead. Lord Mead. our sons and daughters. Ooh. You can fall asleep on sheets of gold and wake up as a pauper.
Oh, did you happen to identify what kind of birds are in this age?
We all get old, we all slow down as the walls they close. We fall, we drown, and I need some breathing space. I won't grow old with grace. I need some breathing
Well, they're not
space.
veggies.
I can't keep living straight. Oh, we ain't gonna linger and wallow when there's hard cash coming back. No way, I'll just sit here when I know that there's hard cash coming back. Hard cash. Don't want no easy money. Oh no. Money couldn't buy me happiness, just a prettier misery. There's a price to pay for a life of luxury. Oh, the air is thin, the glare, the smoke and the wear within. It tears, it's choking. I need some breathing space. I won't grow old with grace. I need some breathing space. I can't keep living straight. Oh, we ain't gonna linger and wallow when there's hard cash coming back. No way, I'll just sit here when I know that there's hard cash coming back. Hard cash. We ain't gonna linger and wallow when there's hard cash coming back. We ain't gonna linger and wallow when there's hard cash.
Larry, could you do me a favor and type the name of the Facebook group in the Uru chat? Is it the Myst Online Uru Live Facebook group?
Don't want no easy money. Oh no. And now that we have all arrived, my friends, get in your cars and drive. And now that we have all arrived, my friends, get in your cars and drive. Gonna drive our blues away. Just another sunny day. Drift on the frozen face of time. Unlikely guide, I will follow you. Stay by my side, see tomorrow through. Two roads merging in one line. What would you give of yourself to stay steadfast? Could you shed all of the ethics of your past? What would you give of yourself to be the best of us at last?
I can't remember if I put on the schedule a tour of all the caves, like the Journey Cave and all the Borrow Caves. Bye, Mary. Thanks so much for everything. Really appreciate you. And Merfak. Oh yeah. And they take a lot longer.
Defects now when you're two of a kind. Blitzing and bolting to desperate frontiers. Clear out the waste jam, a wrench in the gears. Full speed and fire up the engines. A supernova ascending, and it's gonna slow me down. No time to rest on the players. Each one a lesson for later. Nothing's gonna slow me down. Yeah, you and me, we're gonna light up the sky. Light up the sky. Refill a reason and wipe off the dust. Our hearts are jet fuel. It's time to combust. Full speed and fire up the engines. A supernova ascending. Nothing's gonna slow me down. No time to rest on the players. Each one a lesson for later. Nothing's gonna slow me down. I was born a simple man, educated just to fight. But I got soul, I got conviction, and a will to put things right. We lived our lives on grinding metal. For our people we have bled. We take comfort in the rhythm of machine guns spitting lead. Grind for the dawn, backbone and run. Survive as the last of our kind. 'Cause the way out is through. Kickbacks long overdue. Grab your gear, grab your gun. Join the grind. To my friends and soldiers for a while, but you'll be brothers to the end. Crying for the dawn, backbone and brawn, survive as the last of our kind. 'Cause the way out is through, kickbacks long overdue. Grab your gear, grab your gun, join the grind. For